Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you all for tuning in. So tonight we're going to make a mixtape out of my favorite songs. Of all the things that I could have made a mixtape on, I just found myself making a mix of my favorite songs of all time. I can't sit here and tell you that these are my definitive 12 favorite songs of all time. For one, that would be like impossible to decide. But these are all songs that I would be considering between if I was coming up with that list. I left plenty of great songs that I love off of this list. I mean, I could give you a whole freaking box set of favorite songs, but the mixtape setup that I have here is just one album, 12 songs, 6 songs per side. So, kind of had to make a cutoff somewhere, and I can always make more of these in the future. So, for right now, either 12 of my favorite songs of all time, one song per artist. And there is one song on here that is not actually my favorite song of the particular band. I'll talk about that and why I chose this particular song when we get there. So, let's kick this thing off. On the A side, the very first song is from my favorite band of all time, Bon Jovi. I chose It's My Life. It's My Life is not my favorite Bon Jovi song. It's one of them, but it's not my favorite Bon Jovi song of all time. But it is a song that introduced me to the band. So it's a very important a special track for me in that way. But it was the perfect way to kick this thing off. I mean, if I want to make a mix of my favorite songs of all time, it just seems to make sense. I had a hard time figuring out where to start this thing. So it just made sense to start this thing with my favorite band, and what a better way for Bon Jovi to kick something off than with It's My Life. It's big, it's anthemic, it hits you right out of the gate with that talk box. John sounds great, and it's a song that introduced me to my favorite band. What more can you ask for? So It's My Life is going to be the very first track on my mix. Second track on the A side, we're going to go a little heavier, this time with Skid Row's Slave to the Grind. The title track off of a masterpiece of an album, and in my opinion, this is a masterpiece of a song as well. Skid Row going borderline thrash metal on this one. It is just fast, aggressive, heavy. Sebastian sounds great, sounds angry, the guitars sound angry. I love the riffs. I love the solos. I love the music video too, and the imagery in that, where they're kind of playing in like that warehouse. And God, is there? I think there's like one point where somebody's in a cage. Is it? I don't remember if it's Sebastian or if it's Rachel or who it was, but I have to go watch that video now because I don't remember. But it's a great video. I love it. And who in their adult life doesn't feel like they're slave to the grind sometimes? So, fantastic metal song. It's going to be my second track on the mix. Track 3, we're going to go Stone Temple Pilots' Interstate Love Song. My favorite STP song of all time. And there's many STP songs that I absolutely love. Many that could have made a mixtape like this. But I just had to go back to Interstate Love Song. I love the guitar work in that song. Dean DeLeo does not get the credit I think he deserves. He comes up with some pretty amazing licks. And I think he's a great 90s guitar player. I don't know, man. Just in that riff in Interstate Love Song, that's what does it for me. Just bow down down bow bow down bow bow bow. I could listen to that all day. Perfect song for just driving down the highway too. It's such a great song. So catchy. Gosh, I don't know. I don't know what else I can say about Interstate Love Song, but I've always loved the track. And it's just like STP. It was one of those songs, when I first heard it, I loved it. But the more I've listened to it over the years, the more it's just become one of my favorite songs of all time. That's kind of how I feel about Stone Temple Pilots. When I first heard them, I really liked them. But the more I listen to them, the more I love them. So, STP's Interstate Love Song, number 3. The fourth track on my mix, we're going to go with the Foo Fighters' Long Road to Ruin, my favorite Foo Fighters song. Now, I don't know that I could sit here right now and definitively tell you what my favorite song of all time is. It's too hard to pick. And one day I may feel one way, and the next day I may feel another way, so it's just hard to narrow it down to one song. But the last time that I could give you a definitive, this is my favorite song of all time, it was Long Road to Ruin by the Foo Fighters. When this song came out, when Echo Silence, Patience and Grace was released, I spent all summer of 2007 looking forward to this album, and the Pretender dropped, and it kicked ass, and it was amazing. And then a few days before the album was released, some website had it leaked, and I was like trying my best not to ruin it because I wanted to wait until Tuesday when the album came out to go get it and hear it then. But at the same time, the new Foo Fighters album's right here in front of me. I just couldn't resist, you know? So I decided that I'm just going to like maybe go through and listen to the first 10 seconds of each song, kind of get a feel for it. So I go through, you know, Let It Die starts off slow, and then Erase Replace comes on, and then Long Road to Ruin, and it just kind of fades in, and then right before I was about ready to click away, the guitar hits. Bow, hey now, don't make a sound. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? And I kept listening to it way past the 10-second mark. It just, I love everything about it. I love the melody. I love the lyrics, the way Dave sings it. The chorus is fantastic. It's just like a perfect song to me. And for years and years, I could have definitively told you my favorite song ever is Long Road to Ruin by Foo Fighters. Do I still feel that way today? I don't know. There may be days where I still feel like it's my favorite song. But since then, I haven't been able to definitively pick a favorite song. So I guess maybe Long Road to Ruin is my kind of default answer. But it had to be on here. Absolutely had to be on here. Yeah, just one of those songs that, I don't know, just kind of gave me the goosebumps first time I heard it. Still love it today. Still my favorite Foo Fighters song. One of my favorite songs ever, if not. So, Long Road to Ruin, 4th song, had to be on here for sure. All right, let's go to the 5th track. We're going to go with King of the Nighttime World from Kiss. My favorite Kiss song. Pretty much always been my favorite Kiss song since the first time I heard it. It just felt like me in a way. It was one of those songs. I love Detroit Rock City, which is the first Kiss song I heard. And then King of the Nighttime World comes on, and it just kind of felt like me, you know? It was one of those songs that I kind of felt like could have been my personal theme song. I think the guitar riff is amazing. The track, Ace plays the heck out of it. It's one of my favorite drum tracks from Peter as well. The lyrics, Paul's vocals, everything about it. It's just a perfect Kiss song. And it's almost a shame they didn't write it, but they really made it their own. So, King of the Nighttime World, one of those tracks that had to be on here for sure. It's kind of a shame that like almost every version of King of the Nighttime World studio wise starts like right in the middle of that guitar crash. So it's just a really bizarre start to the track. There is an alternative version out there on I think it was on like the 45th anniversary of Destroyer edition. It was one of the bonus tracks. It was like a King of the Nighttime World alternate mix that didn't start with the car crash, but it's kind of a little bit different of a mixing. It's really good. I mean, you could put either version on here. I don't care, but I just always kind of wish that every version of that song didn't have the car crash at the beginning, at least in the studio, because it just is really kind of awkward there. But still, hell of a track. I was this close to naming my channel King of the Nighttime World. It just felt like it was like too long of a name, so I didn't do it. But love that song. Closing out the A side, we're gonna go with the Hooters and Boys Will Be Boys. So, I would say this is my favorite Hooters song. It's close between this and Satellite. But this is another one of those songs, just absolute perfection. One of my favorite riffs, like, ever. It's so catchy. And then I love, like, the second time around, after the riff comes in at the beginning of the song, you go through the verse and the chorus, and the riff comes back, and it's completely Hooterized. It just has all those extra instruments joining in on the riff. It's not just a guitar riff anymore, and that's just like my favorite part of the whole freaking song. The harmony between Eric Bazilian and Cyndi Lauper is flawless. It just sounds so natural, and it's just, I don't know, it's just like it's perfect for the song. Chorus is catchy. Guitar solo is really just kind of a guitar soloed version of the riff, I guess. But it's one of those tracks, just absolute perfection for me. So fun. Such a fun song. Boys Will Be Boys from the Hooters. That's going to wrap up the A side. So, let's flip this tape over. And I have some these were all pretty standard picks for me, I guess, on the A side. The B side's got a few interesting ones, so stick around. Excuse me. We're going to kick the B side off with a song that I just discovered last year. It's from the Primitives. So Spinorama. Their title track from their 2014 album is, like, to me, a perfect pop song. So catchy. Sounds like the Primitives never stepped away. I mean, they released their last album like in 91 or 2. This album absolutely sounds like it could have come a year after that. Tracy sounds fantastic. The band sounds great. Love the lyrics. It's just catchy as all get out. Absolute perfection of a pop song, in my opinion. So, Spinorama kicks off the B-side for me. All right, next we're going to go with Toad the Wet Sprocket. Absolutely love this band. They've got a number of great songs, but one of the songs off of not their most recent album, but the one before it, New Constellation, released back in 2013, has a song called Is There Anyone Out There? What killer track. It's got that standard Toad the Wet Sprocket laid back vibe to it. Glenn Phillips, of course, writes very introspective and I don't know what else I want to say. Very introspective lyrics. It's Toad the Wet Sprocket is kind of thought of as like the thinking man's band. Lyrics always give you something to think about, and that's what's great about them. And this song is no different. It's one of those tracks, again, that I kind of feel like maybe we can all get it. We can all kind of maybe relate to the lyrics. I certainly know I can. And it's honestly, it's one of those songs I almost kind of wish I wrote. I mean, if there was like, I don't know, a handful, 10 songs I wish I would have written, I bet you that one would be one of them. I love the songwriting too. I love the way that I love the chorus of the song. And the second time they go through the chorus of the track, it breaks away into the guitar solo and the bridge. And then it comes back and it concludes the chorus. So it's like you have the chorus the first time around, and then the second time you go through the verse, go through the first half of the chorus, you break away from it, and then you go back into the chorus, and it's just all flawless and seamless. It is so awesome. I love Is There Anyone Out There? It's a great song. Had to be on here. Next up, let's go with the Goo Goo Dolls, another one of my favorite groups from the 1990s. Big fan of the Goo Goo Dolls. I think Johnny Resnick is one of my favorite lyricists of all time. There's a number of Goo Goo Dolls songs I could have put on here, and a lot of Goo Goo Dolls songs seem to be songs that were like almost maybe written for me or about me. They could definitely be one of those soundtrack bands for me for sure. But one song of theirs that I do love, and it's actually my favorite Goo Goo Dolls song, I love not so much because of the lyrics. I mean, they're great lyrics. They're not particularly relatable to me, but Slide. I love Slide. I love the chord progression in Slide. Oh, man. It's just a great song. Great, catchy pop rock song. Another one of those sort of perfect songs that just, if I listen to it once, I gotta listen to it 100 times. So Slide had to be on my list. Again, I could have picked a million Goo Goo Dolls songs, but Slide's kind of always been my favorite, so I had to go with that one. All right, next up I have the Overture from Star Trek Generations, a soundtrack song. So, told you I had some interesting picks here. Growing up a big Star Trek fan, I could have chose the theme song to The Next Generation or the original series or to Voyager or whatever, or any other movie song or soundtrack, but Generations was the Star Trek movie that I grew up on. It came out when I was 4 years old, and by the time I was like 5 years old and we had it on videotape, I wore that thing out basically. I pretty much knew that movie line for line. That was, you know, back then in 1995, it wasn't, you didn't really go out and buy seasons on DVD or stream them on Hulu or whatever. So I had a handful of episodes that I had recorded off the TV, plus we had Generations. So my Star Trek intake was limited to the same few things. So Generations to me was something I watched over and over, and I loved it. I love that movie more than your typical Star Trek fan does, just for the nostalgia. And I think the soundtrack is phenomenal. It's one of my favorites in the entire Trek catalog. I got to go with the Overture because it sort of incorporates kind of different aspects of the soundtrack. It really hones in on the latter part of the movie whenever Kirk and Picard are in the Nexus and then fighting Soren at the end of the movie. It's a really kind of triumphant sounding piece of music, and right in the middle, it kind of slows down into the Nexus scene where Picard's in his big Victorian house and it's Christmas time. So it's just the song kind of covers a lot of ground for me. I love the track. Reminds me of the movie. Reminds me of my love for the franchise. Reminds me of my childhood. So it's just one of those pieces of music that I kind of felt belonged on something like this, and I wanted to throw something interesting in there. So Star Trek Generations, the overture is going to be my 4th track on the B-side. 5th track on the B-side, I have another interesting one for you. This is a local artist. Her name is Kate. Kate Hirati, I think is how you pronounce it. But her stage name is Kate. This the letter K and the number 8. She's from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. Wilkes-Barre is like an hour to an hour and a half northeast of where I'm from. I discovered her music back in 2009. She sang in a Days Inn commercial with the Badleys playing the music, and then she did the vocal. It was a cover of Keep on the Sunny Side of Life, and I love that version of it. I don't even think there's a full track to it. I think they just played that little bit for the commercial and that was it. I've never found a full track of Kate covering that, but that led me to her website, and I just downloaded a bunch of her songs that were available on the website, and I loved all of them. And she's really not like even a rock artist. She's a little more on the folksy side. Maybe singer-songwriter would be a great way to describe her, but her music is fantastic. She's a great lyricist as well. She's a pretty good singer. I don't know that I put her up with the Ann Wilsons of the world, but she's got a voice that can hold its own. Perfect for the kind of music she does. But her songwriting and her lyrics, I think, have really meant something to me. And funny thing is, I kind of lost track of her after a while. I was a big fan back in 2009, 2010. And then she kind of got away from music, I guess. And that's probably where I lost touch with her. And I just recently kind of found her again on social media. And I started following her and even signed up for SoundCloud so that I could hear more of her music, because it's not all on YouTube. So I've heard songs over the past couple of weeks that I'd never heard before, and they're all fantastic. But the one I chose, enough setting this up, is a song called Breathless. And I had to sign up to SoundCloud because Breathless is not on YouTube. It's not many songs of hers are on YouTube, but it's also not on any of her EP. I think she has like 2 EPs, and it's not on either one of them either. But it's one of the songs I got from her website back in 2009 that just really kind of blew me away, so to speak. I just love the lyrics. I think entering my adult life at that point in time, the song kind of hit me in a way that was relevant then. It's still relevant to me today. And I just love the way that the song sort of talks about finding the thing in life that leaves you breathless and not wasting your time living a lie. And those are kind of paraphrased quotes from the lyrics, but it's a fantastic track. I would encourage anybody to check her out. I'll try to leave a link to her website or something in the comments below if anybody's interested in checking her out. I think if you're into like the more folksy, I've heard some say like borderline country. I don't know that I hear that, but it's very singer-songwriter. She's a fantastic artist, so I'm going to leave a link below if you're interested. Check her out. Go to SoundCloud, check out the song Breathless. I think it's an amazing song. Absolutely belongs on the mix of my favorite songs of all time, because it's right up there, because it really is. Closing this thing out, we're going to go with Sixpence None the Richer and their cover of There She Goes. I remember hearing this song all over the place when I was young, to the point where it actually kind of got annoying. But now it's to the point now where it just reminds me of childhood so much. And Leigh Nash just has such a soothing, angelic voice that fits the song in a weird way, because the song is about drugs. It's kind of weird that a Christian band would cover a song about drugs, but then make it just so peaceful and angelic and like tranquil. And that's what I love about the song. Not only does it remind me of childhood, but it's tranquil or something. It's something else. Sixpence None the Richer has a lot of great original songs too, but they also do amazing covers. And There She Goes, I remember hearing it all the time when I was younger, and it's just kind of become one of my favorite songs for that reason. So it's just a great way to close this thing out. There She Goes by Sixpence None the Richer. Song wasn't actually released as a single until 99, which I find hard to believe, because I swear I moved out of the house I grew up in 1998, and I swear that I heard that song all over the place before we moved. So either that song was getting traction before it was actually released as a single, or I'm screwed up or something. But either way, it's a great song. I love it. So that's how we're going to close things out. There She Goes by Sixpence None the Richer. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Leave me a mixtape of some of your favorite songs. If you like this kind of content, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future, and I will see you next time.